Good afternoon and welcome to the Happy Half Hour. I'm Leigh Kubin.
And I'm Sandra Priestley. Welcome to our podcast. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Busy
We made it.
day already. Today
Yes.
I am like double fisting it with I've got water on one side and I've got decaf coffee on the other. So
Nice.
yeah.
Little of both. I had a patient came in this week and she went to a conference and she brought me this peach
Yeah.
water and
Nice.
it's called Update.
Yeah.
And
I like the can.
it feels really nice too. It's energy without caffeine.
Oh,
It says Update Caffeine Evolved Peach Energy Drink. And it's got no sugar. It's got some sodium. It's got some B12. But
is
yeah,
it the B12 that gives you the
it
energy?
must be. I had a week, an exciting week. You know, we brought back the huge map from Florida.
Mhm.
So I'm
Right,
like,
right.
let me take the map. I'll hang on to it. When y'all get back, you have a place for it and you're ready for it, we'll bring it to you.
Yeah.
But for now, I get to keep it, which makes my heart happy.
Yeah.
So when we decided, because we had put a map on that wall when he said he was keeping it.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, Paul, you can just put the big one in your office until I got
Mhm.
it home. And I
It
just had this
huge.
impulse. Yeah, I showed it to you last week. I
Yes.
had that impulse
Beautiful.
like, no, this has to go here. This has to go here. And so Paul is rolling his eyes at me, but he moves it in. Like we have to carry it in together because it's big.
Yeah, it's large, yeah.
And it will fit. We put it in there and kind of move some stuff. We had to move some things around, but it fits. And as we were taking the little small map off the wall, which isn't tiny, but it
No.
is when you compare it to this big monster.
Oh, yeah, it looked like an 8 by 10 picture compared to this, like, I don't know, 8 feet by 10 feet. Like, that's what it looked like.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, you've been playing small, Leigh.
Oh, I love
And
it so much.
we hung that up on Sunday and I could feel it in me. It was like, what are you opening yourself up to? Because you have been playing it small.
Mhm.
And it's in the journey area. It's about opportunities. It's about possibilities.
Yeah.
It's about
Your life,
imagining.
where you're supposed to go, where you're supposed to be, what you were placed to be here for, like how
Yeah.
many places, how many paths can you open up? Oh my gosh.
Mhm. So that was mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
And
Because initially, I mean, I remember the podcast where you talked about this. I don't know where it was, but like probably 100 ago. But I remember when you were talking about it and you were saying like just how powerful that map was for you. And I think you had it above a door frame or something initially, right?
well,
Did you put it
we
above
have
it?
one in our bedroom.
Oh, okay. Oh, right.
Mhm.
But it was like this, opening up to the world. Like, what can we do here?
Yeah.
And it's impressive that you recognize, like, oh shit, I was playing small with this small map, because how we grow is it's so mind-blowing to me. Like, I am just obsessed with how our minds are, how our
Mhm.
thoughts are, how our limiting beliefs are, how our empowered beliefs, how they shift us.
Yeah.
And like, we put up a small map and we think, oh my gosh, this is going to open me up. And it does. And then all of a sudden you shift and you get a different map, or you place it somewhere else and you go, holy hell,
Yeah.
there's a whole new world out there that I didn't see possible. Like, there is never a ceiling on us.
No, except the ones we place there.
Right.
So, and it's sentimental because it's Logan's.
Yeah.
And shit, look what it opened up for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
A
I
move to
mean,
Florida and now to Japan.
man, yeah,
Yeah. Uh,
that's wild.
yeah.
Did you get it for him? I'm just curious. Did you get it for him before he joined
Oh, yeah.
the Navy?
It was almost a year.
I thought so.
Hmm.
And he was successful on his own. And then all of a sudden, hey, by the way, mom, I'm joining the
Hmm.
Navy.
Yeah. In fact, he got it for Christmas, and it was a year later that he told me, guess what I did? Hadn't even told the family yet. I had to keep it secret for a month or so. Had to make it
Wow.
through Christmas,
Oh my gosh.
like not saying a word. You know, they'd sold their house, they're making all these changes. The family's looking at me, and I'm like, everything's good. They have a plan. That's all I can say.
Yeah. I got my eyebrows microbladed and micro shaded today. When you get it first done, it's darker than your normal. But like over time, it starts to look like you just you like, instead of an eyebrow pencil, you used a black Sharpie. Like it starts to get dark and dark and dark and dark and dark. And it does this over a period of time, about 10 days. It'll get super dark. Like day 2, day 3, you do not look good. It's
Oh,
starting to get a little bit darker right now, but by tomorrow, it will literally look like I used a Sharpie marker on my face. And then it starts to lighten up. It's kind of scabs over and it lightens up. And it's
mhm,
like super labor intensive to wipe them down and pat them with this cream and all this stuff.
mhm,
But it's very nice once it's done. What's interesting is I drive up, and Cam had just taken our dog Marley for a walk. And so I drive up and I roll down the window, and he looks at me and I said, "So what do you think?" "It looks like you've got caterpillars on your forehead." It did. Like an hour ago when I showed up,
yeah,
it did look like that. What's interesting is this. So my eyebrows did not get lighter in the last hour, but I put on dark lipstick and darker eyeshadow, and now they don't look like black caterpillars
uh-huh,
pasted on my forehead. Now they kind of blend in, especially with the lipstick, right? Because I've got glasses
okay,
on.
yeah,
Do you see how it's like it's more of a statement? It's like, whoa. But when I did not have that on and I didn't have the lipstick on,
yeah,
it looked sort of like, I don't know, like a white tennis ball with like caterpillars sitting on it. Like it did not look good. And I thought about this in order to detract away from what would seem to be abrupt and not in a good way.
mhm,
I will accentuate something else. And I started thinking about how much time we spend with something that we perceive to be a weakness.
mhm,
We don't take time to do what we can to like strengthen the other things, or to use our strengths, or to, like enhance those. And
yeah,
instead, we spend so much time going, "Oh my God, my eyebrows." I mean, my eyebrows are just like a nonsensical example. It's like, even I was thinking about this in terms of weight loss or weight,
mhm,
and you saying like, pay attention to, love something that you love. Like find something. If you are a little bit bigger and you want to lose this weight, the first thing you've got to do is love something else.
yeah,
And I was thinking about that, about how, so if you love your toes, go get a fucking pedicure.
yeah,
If you love
and look
your
at how
hands,
pretty they are.
go get your nails done.
Yeah,
Or if you love your hair, make sure you show up in the morning and you've spent time making your hair like beautiful.
Mhm.
So that there's that one thing that you look at. Like, I don't really give a shit about anyone else. Like,
Well, it's how
like
you
someone
feel.
else can go, okay, your eyebrows look ridiculous. And I'm going to say, okay, well, in 9 days, they will look awesome. But when I look in the mirror and I see them and I go, whoa, it's a little much. It's a little much, Priestley. Like, if it really bothered me, I would be making sure my hair was beautiful, my lipsticks was darker, like, and how often we just spend time just picking apart
Mhm.
the stuff we don't love.
Yeah.
Like the very first time I got my eyebrows done, I was like in full on panic mode. I had to do a training. It was 3 hours and I looked insanely ridiculous because it was day 2 or day 3. And I remember thinking, oh no, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? They're not going to listen to me. They're only going to be looking at my
They're gonna
eyebrows.
be going,
Yeah. But by the
yeah,
time I got in there, my hair was all done.
mhm,
My darker lipstick was on.
yeah,
My eyes were done. And everyone said, holy crap, your eyebrows look amazing. But we spend so much time in the negative. We spend so much time just focusing on the things that we don't love.
mhm.
And we forget
Make and
that,
then and all that's doing is making it bigger.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
not showing up in the moment,
Hmm.
and then we're pissed off at them.
Yeah.
"Oh, did you see the way they looked at me?" Or, "They
Yeah.
didn't talk to me. It must be these damn eyebrows." Or
Or
what?
we spend time apologizing for it, right?
"I'm
We
so
spend time
sorry."
apologizing. I'm so sorry. My eyebrows look terrible, or I'm so sorry
Just
that,
drawing attention to it.
yeah. And we spend so much time there when we don't need to.
Mm-mm.
We perseverate on stuff that's just,
Well, but what we believe others think, here's the messed up thing about it all. We can believe they must think this,
yeah,
and then we show up as if that's true.
true. Yeah,
Now, I would rather tell the story of if I'm gonna make up what they believe about me,
yeah,
it should be like that I'm a badass,
yeah, right?
that, "Oh my god, that girl can do anything," not my worst fears. But we
Mhm,
tend to do that, and I was working with one of my hypnotherapy patients this week, and, of course, she started off about weight, but it didn't stay there long, and she's one that's trying to build or is in the process of building a business.
mhm.
And she showed me there's a trade show that is coming, and she's getting a little booth, and I noticed on the flyers that they were looking for speakers. And I
Okay.
said, "Are you speaking?" "Oh, no, I haven't even asked about that." And I said, "Well, you've been telling me that you want to speak to women, and here's an opportunity. And you can't speak in front of 1,000 women if you can't speak in front of 20.
Right.
So wouldn't this maybe be a great time to jump in? But you've been asking the universe, and there's a
And
piece of
there it is.
paper." And
And
she
so
went, "Oh,
I wonder, so the question that I have is, did
yeah,
she even recognize that this was there for her? She didn't even notice, didn't even think, didn't even,
no."
wow.
I said, "Email her." And, she gets that look.
Yeah.
I'm like, "You have been asking for this. Why
Mhm.
would you not? Unless you're just scared, you don't want to do it, and that's fine too. Don't do it.
Yeah.
But don't kick yourself." "No, I have to do it." She emailed her, and that lady emailed her right back. Said, "Yeah, what do you want to talk about?" Then it's like, "Oh my gosh, this is happening. It's like, "Yeah, this is happening." And I said, "But you're not going to freak out, and we're going to work through this and work on your focus because you're probably 100 pounds down from a year ago. You don't have the protection that you had a year ago." And she's like, "Shit." And then she starts getting into last time she had lost weight, because this is a journey for her, how she had gotten down. I don't know if she was down as much as she is now, but she was down a considerable amount. And people started turning heads and paying attention to her. And well, it didn't flatter her. It pissed her off because she's like, "Oh, you can't pay attention to me when I'm fat. But now that I look good, you've got time for me?" No. And I'm chuckling a little bit and I'm like, "You realize they could not see you.
Mhm.
How were you showing up? You were pissed.
Yeah.
You were ashamed or you were whatever. You were walking in the room in your big clothes, trying to
Yeah.
hide your body with your head down, sending a signal out to the world, I don't want to be messed with.
Yeah.
You were not showing up like you show up today."
Yeah.
And she got it because I told her that almost a year ago.
Mm.
And she was adamant. Mm-mm. People treat overweight people, and I don't even think, I think she said fat people is the way she
Yeah.
phrased it, different than thin people. And I was like, mm-mm, because I see 500-pound people walking in the door that act like they own the place.
Yeah.
And you don't see the weight. I mean, you might notice that they're heavier, but
Yeah.
they're a force,
Yeah.
and their enthusiasm is like contagious.
Mhm.
So don't give me that. Don't. And she didn't hear me then, but it was so funny to watch her sit in the chair going, "I just got that for the first
Mhm.
time." She said, "It's not them, it's
Yeah.
me."
Yeah.
And I
And
said, "It's always us."
there is a statistic out there. There's tons of research out there as it says, women, typically tall women, make more money, sell more things. Pretty women make more money, sell more things. Thin women make more money, sell more things. That's the research out there, but it has nothing to do with all of the aesthetics.
No.
It's everything to do with what we think and how we project our energy to the world.
Yeah.
So, the research might be there, but that doesn't mean that we're stuck in it. It's
Well,
how we interpret ourselves in the
it's
world,
the
how we
glasses that
Mhm.
research was created through.
Yes, exactly.
And the thing about this conversation, and it hit me after we finished our conversation the other day, this is not specific to weight.
No, not at all.
So if I think because of my race, or
Mhm.
because of my sexual orientation, or because of my past, I'm worthless. No one's going to hire me for anything.
Yeah.
All of those things that we make mean something, which
Mhm.
makes us bad, and we see others as looking down on us for those things.
Yeah.
We live as if it's true, and it feels so true in our body, and that's
Yeah.
how we show up in the moment, and we miss our life telling a stupid bullshit story.
Yeah. Well, and it's running around in our subconscious mind, right? Because our subconscious mind controls what, 80 to
Yeah.
90% of all of our
Well,
actions.
and that, yeah, our subconscious is telling you.
Yeah,
Huh?
it's like it's like the mean girl in the back of your mind going, this isn't for you. I had a client just this week say to me that one of her limiting beliefs, or her limiting belief was something that her mom had said to her years ago. I think it was she was telling a story anyway about how she wanted something as a child, and her mother continually said, that's not for us. So, like, wealth is not for us. Abundance is not for us.
Mhm.
Those good things, those nice things, those nice cars, they're not for us. And so she's played small her entire life, even though her conscious mind, and this is what I find fascinating about our minds, but her conscious mind is like, that can't be true. Like, I
Right.
mean, but she's struggling, kind of like limping along. But that's because the back of her mind, the 90% of her actions and who she exudes to the world is, that's not for us. That's not for us. That's not for us.
Mhm.
Let's,
Shrink.
protect ourselves. That's not for us. Let's play small because wealth is for everyone else, but it's not for us.
And what's crazy is that when we have that belief, we can't see the way out of it. Like
True.
my client did not see on the form and go, I could be a speaker.
Right.
It was right there in front of her,
Yeah.
but she couldn't see it because
Mhm. Yeah,
why would she speak?
exactly.
Why would they want her to speak?
And
As if
it's
she
so
doesn't have a ton to
amazing.
say.
I wonder how many things we miss
Mhm.
that are right in front of us. You
It's
and me as well.
it's all right here in front of us,
It's,
but our brain doesn't recognize it
yeah.
because we don't believe it. We think,
Yeah.
well, I don't deserve that. I'm not good enough to do that. I'm not
You
smart
know,
enough.
yeah, there was a last year, I should do a post on this, but last year it was June the 7th. So 2 days from now, I had taken a picture. I'd gone for a walk. I had taken a picture and there was like a lot of fluff, like fluff from the trees that had come off. And there was a ton of pollen in the lake. The lake, I mean, we have a huge, huge lake. Like I think it's 200 square miles. I mean, it's a big lake
Yeah.
for, but there, it was very, very calm. And there was so much pollen on the lake. It was like a thick layer of yellow, foamy pollen.
Yeah.
Then along the way in the grass and some like into the woods, there was like all of these like fluff from the trees.
Mhm.
And there was a moment where I looked at this and went, holy shit, look at all those lost opportunities. What could that pollen have been? Where could that pollen have gone? What if that pollen didn't end up in the water and sink? Like, what about these seeds? Where are they going to go? What could they be? Or are they going to be nothing? It was this huge aha moment for me where I went, fuck, how many missed opportunities have I let go of? Like, it's one of those just like, those moments where it's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this has just changed my life.
But the thing is, there's always going to be more.
Yeah.
It's not like God goes, I've given you all I can. You've
Right. Now
squandered
you're
all.
52. Now
No.
you're just stuck wherever you are.
Yep. Do it yourself. No, they continue to come, but we have to
Yeah.
be ready and open for it. And we have to believe that good
Yes.
things are coming.
And yeah. And when I'm telling that story, I can see how you mean it, or like how it would be taken. I didn't take it as, oh my God, I've left so much on the table.
Yeah.
What I did think is, fuck, time to step it up. Because what has been presented to me that I shit the bed on? What has been presented to me that I just dismissed? I didn't pay attention. I wasn't looking for the signs, or I saw something come to me and went, that'd be, oh no, I can't do that.
Mhm.
Because we all do that. I mean, I think
Mhm.
sometimes people might think that you and I are like, oh, everything is fantastic. Every single thing. We are always taking on
No.
all of the challenges. We push ourselves. We're perfect. Okay. I
Don't we talk
definitely
about enough
know.
assholeness on here? I mean, I feel like we're pretty
I
open.
don't know. I definitely still have moments where I'm like, shit, that stuff is coming up again.
Mhm.
Like, really? I like,
Yeah.
I'm holding myself because, fear of success again. Are you kidding me? This was presented to me and I waited, and I shouldn't have. I should have acted in the moment. And so it was this moment for me. It was just like this huge aha of, okay, girl, next opportunity that comes to me, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it because what could it turn into? Big, huge maple tree? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
like you just never know.
Sometimes we think it's the big stuff. We're
Yeah.
waiting for this big sign, this big arrow, go this way, and it
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily happen like that. It's
Yeah.
these little nudges, these little turn here, go here, call this person, call Sandra. You hadn't talked to her in years, but y'all are doing a podcast and
Yeah. Well, and I just had a conversation with my friend yesterday about this too, about how like sometimes it's the smallest. This has come up 3 times for me. So there's a reason for it. Like
because it's
speaking
huge. Say it.
sign. Yesterday I was talking to a friend of mine and we were talking about how sometimes it's just one thing. So I was in this class. There was a moment, there was a couple moments, a couple of things that were said. One was, I think I might have said this on the podcast before, but one was the opposite of work or the opposite of play is not work, it's depression.
Yeah.
And I will never forget that in my life. It was Dr. Stuart Brown. Never will I forget that. And then another one was about flow. And it was about flow in sports and how it mirrors religion. And I mean, to me, flow is alignment, right? Like it's like when you are in the vortex, it is when things slow down, when you just like you're just being led.
Yes.
And it just feels calm and perfect. And you're almost in this like state of, I'm not sure if I'm here or not. Like sometimes on this podcast, you and I will say, fuck, I don't even remember what we said because we're in the vortex. We're just
Yeah.
like, whatever coming out of our mouths is like divinely led, I guess, right? Like it just, and so it was about this flow and how in sports we can get into this state of flow to the point where like magic fucking happens. It's like meditation, it's like
Yeah.
prayer. And so we were talking about how we tend to think that flow, or we tend to think that like there has to be a big, huge thing that shifts us. But a lot of the times, it's the tiniest
Yeah.
little thing that has the biggest impact.
Mm-hmm.
That was a conversation we had.
Yeah.
I was looking for a picture in my phone where for something random, and I saw a screenshot of a conversation I had with a client that I meant to write a post on. I may or may not have, but she said, I feng shuied her place. I moved this beautiful cross of hers to be the first thing she sees when she wakes up in the morning. And she said her life changed from that. Her entire life changed. And now today, again, it's one little
Yeah.
thing that you say yes to can have the craziest response.
Yeah. But
Like,
we try to move things around. Okay, let's make it happen.
yeah.
And sometimes that keeps it from coming
Yeah.
because we're trying to force it instead of just allowing it to come in.
Yes. Yeah.
And when you get in that allowing mode, it's almost like you don't quite realize you're there. You're just in the vortex, you're doing your thing, you're following your impulses, and then you look up one day and you're like, holy shit,
Yeah.
look what I did
Yeah.
when I was just following the next logical step and the next. And
Mm-hmm.
it
Exactly.
like blows my
I
mind.
know.
Mhm.
I know. It's so amazing.
But on that note,
We're out of time.
we are out of time. Oh, this was so good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next Thursday on the Happy Half Hour. Bye.
Bye.